Kill Team 2021. It's the refreshed rule set from 2018. I think they've really done a good job here. It's not so much of a money grab. They've really refreshed the game and it's really fun to play. It's quite quick and streamlined a lot of the sort of clunky aspects that were in the previous game. But if you want to play the new one, how do you get started? Well, first of all, you'll want a copy of the rules. Now the rules, they're pretty expensive. And I mean, I just said that they came out in 2018, so we don't know if a new version or a new edition is going to be coming out soon. So my recommendation is to do it on the cheap. Just Google around for the PDF files, and once you've got a copy of those, you'll have a copy of the rule book and the compendium. The rule book is obviously how to play, establishes all of the rules, the setting, and that sort of stuff. And then the compendium is more of an army building list or a tool to assemble your force that you can then play against an opponent. There are other things as well, like that cheat sheet that sort of summarizes the entire thing. They're also useful. I'd recommend seeking those out. But yeah, you don't necessarily have to fork out all the cash for a book. It's quite clunky to flip through. When you're looking for an obscure advanced rule and you've got to flick to a particular page, it's much easier just to have the PDF available, or if you were to print out a copy of the PDF and go to Officeworks or something like that to get it bounded. Oh, sorry, yeah, binded. I don't know. Anyway, I highly recommend collecting the Kroot. They're pretty cool. And yeah, you can't really go wrong with Kroot. Space Marines, pretty obvious pick. I mean, if you want to just go one box entry, I'd go Adeptus Custodes because you only need one and you get the 4. I'm just waiting for this to load, I suppose. But yeah, PDFs are pretty good. The next thing would be the miniatures. Now you can buy the miniatures, right? You can get them from Games Workshop, but if you're watching this video, you may not have actually played the game before. So I recommend just going for a cheap entry to the hobby. Just get your toes wet, maybe play a game or two before you fork out all the cash. Because I think a box set these days is like $75. It's pretty bloody ridiculous. So you can go the Paw Hammer route, which is what you see on the screen. It's essentially, people printing out paper representations of the models. You stick them with a bit of blue tack or sticky tape on something, and then that's your army. It's quite cheap. Now, if you don't have access to a printer or something like that, you can just draw stick figures, right? Just draw stick figures on something, or other people have created templates that you can print out and just color in with pencils and things like that. You can do what I did, which is get secondhand. I didn't get it off eBay. I got it off someone sort of moving on from the hobby, but secondhand pickups from eBay, you don't really need much, just a squad of something. Make sure you read the compendium and pick up a small set of models and away you go. You can get it from Games Workshop, obviously. It's pretty expensive, and yeah, I mean, if you want to get it from Games Workshop, go for it. Or you can do some copyright infringement. If you download torrents and stuff like that, it's not too different, I suppose. You just basically buy resin from Eastern Europe, wait a couple of weeks, and then it gets delivered. My recommendation, so we're looking at AdMech on the screen. There's a lot of little like swords and pointy bits. I'd recommend resin for larger models, but perhaps maybe Space Marines or something like that, something thicker. Just the way that the plastic sets, the mold and everything, yeah, if it's really skinny and really small, that doesn't come out the best. But anyway, that's why you just pay real money for Games Workshop stuff, or you just do like paper Paw Hammer stuff. Once you've got the rules and once you've got the miniatures, you'll need the tools. So in order to play the game, again, you don't need to buy fancy terrain and paint it and do all this extra shit. You can just get away with some cardboard boxes from something you purchased off the internet or something like that. And in addition to that, you're also going to need some measuring tools. So you can see here the rules are based on a triangle, circle, square, and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, just get a measuring tape or a ruler or something like that. Something that represents a 1-inch move, and then you can use that. Same again with the tokens. So, tokens are wounded. There might be a strategic objective, objective marker. The icon things are useful for a whole bunch of things. So you can just, what I did is I printed it out, laminated a sheet of paper, and then cut out the laminated sheet of paper. So I've got these little plastic discs. Didn't cost me much money at all. So you could do what I did, or you could just, buy the game and then it comes with it. It's pretty expensive. Alternatively, for terrain, you could just print out something like this. So you can see here we've got a crate with some barrels, a wooden fence, a stone fence, that sort of stuff. You can create some cover just with some 2D paper models. And yeah, it works pretty well. Again, you don't want to be outlaying too much money to get your toes wet into the hobby. You just want to play a few games and see if you enjoy it, see if it's any good, and then I'd recommend buying a whole bunch of shit. But then lastly, once you've got everything, you need friends to play with. So this is a guy from, I think it's like a play on tabletop video, and I can't remember who was doing Custodes or Chaos or something, but yeah, you're going to need some friends to play with. It's no fun playing by yourself. Tabletop Simulator is exactly that. It's a simulator. It's better to play in person, do the shit talking in real life, and bounce ideas and strategies and stuff like that off of each other. So yeah, welcome to my TED Talk, and goodbye.